making scones any time of the year, and so do my grandkids. We like having tea parties together. This is a step-by-step tutorial on how to make scones. It'll help you learn a few more things about baking. So come on, let's go have some fun. So hey, I'm really glad that you're joining me to make scones today. The recipe is found on the post and the link will be found below. And I'm going to show you a few things about measuring as well as we go. So we're going to start with measuring our flour. And when we measure flour, we spoon that into the cup. We don't pack it in, we spoon it. I have a little scoop I keep in here just to remind me not to dip my cup in there. A measurement for flour is always done with a scoop and a level. So that's how we do that. I'm going to put the first scoop in the bowl. There's 1 cup. We need 2 cups of flour. If we dip it into the container and scoop, it packs it in there, and that makes it a larger quantity, and it'll make our scones dry. So here's our 2nd cup. So 2 cups of flour. And then it asks for 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And this is handy, and mine has a little flat edge right here, so all I have to do is take my 1 teaspoon, measure. Now there's a difference between a teaspoon and a tablespoon. Do you see how much larger the tablespoon is? This is 3 times as big as this. 3 teaspoons make 1 tablespoon, so don't get those mixed up. On the recipe, it usually says 1, and it's a small TSP. So that's a teaspoon, and we need 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And we're putting all of the dry ingredients into the bowl to start with. That's what the recipe is asking us to do. So 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Baking powder is what makes it rise or puff up. It's called a leavener. I'm also a home ec teacher, so sorry, you're going to get kind of that stuff at the same time. And our sugar, we need 1/3 cup. And sugar does not pack, so we can scoop that out and level it off. 1/3 cup goes in the bowl. And 1/8 teaspoon of salt. 1/8 teaspoon is a half of a 1/4 teaspoon. It's not very much. If I put just a little bit in my 1 teaspoon, that's going to be about right. 1/4 teaspoon, or 1/8, excuse me. That goes in the bowl. And we're going to gently mix the dry ingredients. And that's the first part of our recipe. The second part is asking us to cut in some chilled butter, but it asks for 1/3 cup of butter. So the butter is marked with tablespoons on the side. You can see the tablespoons. Remember, that's the larger of the measurements. But instead of me having to put it into a measuring spoon, the butter has already marked that out on here. So 1 cup is 16 tablespoons, and 1/3 of a cup, which it shows you on here, is 5 1/3 tablespoons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/3 is right here. So that's what I'm going to cut. And we're going to use a pastry blender. You can use forks if you don't have a pastry blender. So it has these little blades on here that aren't sharp like a knife, but they're going to cut into the butter when I put it into the flour. And this is called cutting in. That makes sense, doesn't it? And I start cutting. You can see why it's called cutting. Can you see that? It's cutting the butter. And this takes a few minutes. So I just keep cutting that butter into smaller and smaller pieces, and it mixes into the flour. So we don't want to melt the butter. The butter came out of the fridge. That's why I forgot to put it in the picture. And it needs to be chilled, not frozen. You can't even see it in the mixture anymore, hardly. And it's supposed to be kind of mealy. It's actually kind of fun. I like this. There's other recipes that ask you to cut the butter in. I think my pie crust recipe is one of them. And I have a biscuit recipe that asks me to cut the butter in. Then it asks me to add 1 egg. And I always crack my egg into a bowl. So just in case that I get any little eggshells in there, I can get it out easily. So I'm going to crack my egg on the side of the bowl and pull it open. Oh, this time I didn't get any eggshells. But if you do, the best way to get an eggshell out is actually to use your eggshell. You're going to hear me say that in several of my videos. So that slipped out of my bowl before I got it on film. Sorry about that. But the egg is in the bowl. And the next ingredient is a teaspoon of vanilla. Probably best to measure it over something else in case I spill. There's a teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm out of whipping cream, so I'm going to be using milk for this recipe, and I'll be your guinea pig and I'll tell you how it turns out. So here's a half cup of what should be whipping cream. And then we're going to mix that in, and we want it to mix well, of course, but we don't want to keep mixing and mixing and mixing our scones, or the biscuits turn out tough, not as tender and nice to eat. These are so fast and easy to make. Stir until it's completely mixed. So I'm going to take this and turn it out onto some flour on my countertop and make it into scone shapes. Right, so let's take some of our flour and sprinkle it out onto the countertop so that the dough, which is kind of sticky, doesn't stick to the countertop. And we're going to probably need to add just a little bit of flour to this dough. You can see it's still kind of sticky in there. All right, so with a little bit of that flour, we're going to turn that dough over just a little bit. This is called kneading the dough, and I'm just getting a little bit of flour into it since it was so sticky. And then I'm going to push on the dough like that. All right, so it's not nearly as sticky now. You can roll this out with a roller, but I typically just pat it out with my hand, keeping flour underneath it. I'm going to put this into a circle, and I'm going to cut pie shapes for my scones. Then I'm going to put it onto a cookie sheet. So I'm going to make it about 1/2 inch thick. You can see that, pat it out. So now I'm going to cut it into triangles, kind of like I'm cutting a pie. And I'm putting some flour on here. Let's see, I think I'll cut it into 8 pieces. There, I cut it in half and half again, and then I'm going to cut each of those in half into triangles for my scones. Now, you can add chocolate chips to these. You could add cranberries or raisins or other flavorings that you might like. So let's take these pieces and we're going to put them onto the cookie sheet that I've put over here. And I'm going to put a little distance in between them so that they will be crusty on the edges as well as the tops. If I put them real close together, they kind of puff up because of the baking powder, like I told you. There we go. So don't those look good? I have the oven heated up to 375 degrees, and these are going to go in there for about 15 minutes. So you'll get to see them as soon as they come out. So hey, look what just came out of the oven. Don't those look wonderful? And they're nice and light brown. So I'm going to put these on a plate. I'm on for people to serve themselves up. Okay, so if I want to serve those to someone, I need to add my lemon curd that we've made. Now, Papa's been very quiet while I'm doing my filming, so I'm going to serve him up a scone. I think he deserves that, don't you? A scone with some lemon curd. It's been in the fridge, so it's not as runny as it would be if it were just off the stove. Doesn't that look yummy? Complete instructions are found over at welcometonana's.com. Come on over and join the fun.